Alright guys, so this was the first full day in Scotland, Edinburgh we had. Like yesterday was just when we got our luggage back finally, and Marley and his girlfriend got there, so my brother. So basically, you went to the Edinburgh Castle first to see a picture of me. There's some cool weapons that we saw. Here's a cool picture of the view from the castle. It's pretty cool. That's a cool cannon from the castle, yeah. Another picture coming up. So yeah, we had a cool guided tour. It was pretty awesome. You know, a little bit overrated and a bit touristy, but it was pretty awesome. So this is just a telephone booth outside of the castle. Kind of reminded me of Doctor Who. It's pretty dope. Another picture, just looking really fly. There's another picture right here. And here's just a picture of us walking around in Edinburgh for y'all. Now here's a restaurant we went to. It's Harry Potter themed. There's me drinking overpriced butterbeer. They're really plain and you love Harry Potter. You know, there's a nice pastrami sandwich and a salad. It was pretty good. Yeah. That's another. Oh, it's Marley's baked potato. My brother, he got a baked potato. It's pretty nice. That's inside of the sandwich. Pretty good. That's sauerkraut and pastrami. Nice. And here's another picture of my sandwich. So yeah, it's pretty good. You know, really, it's overpriced for what it is. But it's Harry Potter themed. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, get what you pay for. It's kind of a tourist travel, but yeah, Harry Potter theme, awesome. So it's not really illustrated by the video well, but all my stuff, the castle was at like 10 a.m. and then we got food and dinked around for a while. That was most of the morning and afternoon. But then we actually decided me and my brother would split away from his girlfriend, my mom, my grandma. So we went to the National Museum of Scotland, just us two. That was a bucket list, that was pretty cool. So we ended up skipping most of the Scotland history because it was kind of boring history, and I went to some of my favorite parts I was excited for. So this is Formula 1 car exhibit. It's just a picture from it. They added driving simulator with GT7, which is pretty cool. And this is an old British car. Not exactly sure what the brand was, but it's a really old British car showing like the beginning of cars in Britain, and it looks very much like an old Ford from the 20s, like 1918, 19, early 20s. It's pretty cool seeing the evolution of British automotive history. Now, this was an exhibit on energy, and I just found this car in it. This part of the exhibit was about hydrogen cars, and it's actually from a British company called Peer. So it's a hydrogen car. I never made it to market, but it's pretty cool. I like, you know, hybrids and electric cars I'm really into, and hydrogen cars is pretty interesting to learn some more stuff about, yeah. So this is a really cool Yamaha sport bike. I thought my dad would be really into this because he's super into MotoGP right now, cars racing, which is dope. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. So this is actually part of a larger exhibit on motorbikes and actually the history of bicycles, which is pretty cool. This is part of a bigger exhibit about plants and animals, and it was pretty cool. You know, it reminded me of like some Pokemon. You know, definitely some Pokemon inspired by this, like Vileplume and others. But yeah, really cool. So I had to take a picture of it. So I don't know if you know by now, but I'm actually more into cars, or you might know. But this is really cool. This red thing with wheels is actually a panel from a smart car, which is pretty cool. See the parts of a smart car, that was pretty cool. Now, this is a Mac iMac G3. It was part of their history of computers exhibit, which was actually really cool. Loved it. You know, I'm super into tech. And this was a model of Mickey Mouse holding an old telephone. This is part of a bigger exhibit on the history of cell phones and telephones. It was really cool, you know. As we went to that early 2000s, late 2000s, you know, early 2010s, you know, stuff, you know, that vibe. You can find and experience some of it. It was actually pretty cool, a lot of nostalgia, and you know, just really cool. Now I'm super into aesthetic, so it's just really cool to see all that stuff. Also, you got to see a glimpse of before minimalism destroyed stuff, you know. We still got all these old things to keep preserved, which is really cool. Lastly, I got to see this old British steam engine train, which is really cool. And I'm really into that 1860s Western Red Dead style vibe, which is awesome. So this fit the bill definitely for me. This is really cool. So there was actually a lot more stuff in the museum than what I'm showing here. There's just a few things, and we took a lot longer. We definitely glimpsed over some of the history pretty quickly because it was kind of boring, and I focused on some cool stuff that I liked, like cars and stuff like that. But yeah, really cool. And here's a random AI image of playing frisbee. But actually, we just went to a random park with like open field and played frisbee for a while, so that was pretty fun. So for dinner, we went to a restaurant called the Whiskey Bar. We had reservations, which was pretty nice, and I got this really nice 8-ounce sirloin steak, obviously cooked to a perfect medium rare, with some roasted tomatoes and some chips and a nice peppercorn sauce and salad, which was really great. Honestly one of the best steaks I ever had. Loved it. had a great dining experience overall. Nice, classy restaurant. His random AI image from Scottish Ghost to hold you out. So, we finished off the night with the Ghost Tour. The Ghost Tour was pretty cool. We got to go to a cemetery and the Edinburgh Vaults underground, which was pretty cool. Overall, it was alright. I mean, it wasn't the best for the money. We paid a lot of money, but he definitely was pretty amusing. Not so scary, but yeah, it was cool. And that was the way to finish the night off late. It was actually pretty cool. It was just kind of like, it was interesting. Like, the humor and like the kind of things he did was interesting. Like he was targeting people. I don't know. It was an interesting kind of humor, an interesting kind of ghost tour. But it was a pretty cool way to end the night. But then we did have some Airbnb fiasco with like an Uber getting back to the Airbnb because first Uber like didn't take us and the other guy got lost. But we got back. So yeah, overall, the one was pretty good.